Good morning, everyone. What is going on? Need to mute this. All right. How are we? It's Friday. It's Friday in Melbourne. Wow. Day's over. The week coming to a close. What an exciting week, hey? Had NFT Fest. Couple of random announcements here and there. Good to see a bunch of you guys in the flesh in Australia. Day 15 of these streams, 3 weeks, almost a month. Wow. Really really fun, to be honest. I have been thinking about doing my daily streams for a while, and I remember the day that I just decided to do it. I was like, you know what, Matty, don't even think about it. Just click, you're going live, and let's just do it. It's interesting. Action is really just a decision away, right? But hey, super excited to talk to you guys about some stuff that's been out there in the virtual space. We're gonna go and talk a little bit about AI. We're going to talk a bit about the metaverse. I feel like as I do these streams, I'm zooming out a little bit, and I like to cover things in the realm of tech, really. Things like AI, things like metaverse, things like VR, virtual, really not just about NFTs. And I don't know if there is enough content just for NFTs. I don't like just to cover the next mint. I think it's getting kind of boring. Anything exciting in the NFT world we will go through, but yeah, definitely looking at covering AI technologies more, at least what I'm learning, and zooming out and seeing where this metaverse space can be, right? Yeah, good morning everyone. What is going on? BT caught the live stream this time. Yeah, hell yeah. Welcome, welcome. I've seen you around, I think, back in the day. Did I buy any potatoes? No, I did not. Or did I? Did I or did I not? I don't know. Do you know? Knows. What's going on? NFT addiction helpline. VVverse MB Shade X says, yeah, interesting times for VVverse. Been making some good progress during this bearish market. All right, awesome. Honestly, got maybe 2 points to cover in this on this stream. Not too much news. Let me know if you want me to cover anything else. But let's chat about what's been going on. Brazil versus Portugal versus Ghana was interesting, right? There was almost a goalie fumble in that match. I watched the highlights. I don't have time to watch the actual match. I think the actual match happens when it's my 4 to 5 a.m., which always sucks. Melbourne always misses the good stuff. But yeah, I'm keeping a little bit of an eye on that. But hey, let's go, guys. Let's get started, and we'll jump to chat with you guys here and there. There's about 15 people on the stream. Pretty good. Let's get started. All right. So a few points I wanted to cover. I want to keep a mental note of this to cover business use cases in the metaverse, right? Had a very interesting chat with one of the major consultancies in this space, one of the big four. I was invited to do a presentation about the metaverse too. And it was an interesting suite of questions that came my way regarding that. So I wanted to touch upon that very briefly so we, as users or as future builders, get an indication as to what is possible. What sort of need is there for business models in this space? So mental note of that a little bit later. Okay, Stability AI released Stable Diffusion version 2. And I believe this is the core kind of kit that was used to make text visual sort of tools that we saw get quite popular this year in the AI world, right? So there's a thread over here. Let's just cover the thread, and later on we can take a little bit of a look at the blog post. But version 2.0 release includes robust text-to-image models trained using a new text encoder developed by Leon with support with Stability AI. Yep. The cool thing, guys, I thought was this stuff, right? So they're explaining some new aspects of this. They've got the upscaling thing, which back in the day, I would basically copy paste an image into Photoshop, and then I'd sharpen the image to get more quality out of the image. Looks like you can get higher resolution, so you can take an image that's 128 by 128 generated image, and you could upscale it using AI, and that's a freaking amazing idea. Like, imagine that for maybe cops trying to identify like a robber or something that's been caught on camera, but you can't see the face. Maybe they can use this to identify it, or maybe a missing person, right? Maybe you can further, maybe AI, maybe you can talk. Oh my God, future use case, unlock. All right. You know how back in the day in movies, there was this thing where whenever there was a witness to a crime and cops were interviewing that witness, there would be that witness would be explaining to an artist what that person would look like, and that person would be in real time sketching what that may look like, and then it would show it, and they would be like, yes, it sort of looks like that, it sort of doesn't. Now imagine if you could just talk straight to AI and be like, yep, had black hair, no, had sort of green eyes, looked a bit mean, I was wearing a gray t-shirt, and AI could sketch the whole model for you, and you could almost get from just your speech the output that looks similar to someone suspicious. How's that for AI? AI in the police force. Wow, this AI stuff is just mind-boggling. Anyway, super interesting about this one. Another thing I found interesting, guys, was this here. So it has this depth-guided stable diffusion model that you can add depth to. So you have this simple 3D model, and then you can tell that model to add a Star Wars theme or a pineapple theme or whatever, and suddenly you've got different versions of this initial super basic 3D model. How interesting is that? That is super interesting. And then you've got this here where it looks like that was the base model. So let me see if I can pause on that base model. Here we go. Boom. Depth to image can offer all sorts of new creative applications, delivering transformations that look radically different from the original, but which still preserve the coherence and depth of the image. So you've got like a basic image, then you tell an overlay, you tell the AI model to overlay that image with something, and suddenly you've got a whole set of realistic images based on that sort of template, right? Interesting to know of these. Very interesting to know of this, because we're making strides, guys. We're making strides in technology. And the reality is, if you can bridge the gap between the technology that exists today, whether it be blockchain, NFTs, AI, whatever it may be, and a real world business use case, you basically have a bridge to build $1 million consultancy. So, right? There is space here to be like, yo, you can actually use this to model your aesthetic. Maybe Nissan can use it to model the next Nissan release of their sports car. Maybe the GDR R36 can be modeled using AI. But yeah, I found that interesting. I don't really know what this is. What the hell is this? Finally, we also include now new text-guided in-painting model, fine-tuned on the new Stable Diffusion 2.0 text-to-image model, which makes it super easy to switch out parts of an image and intelligently and quickly. So I guess you can tell the image to add glasses on or change the background, and it looks a little bit broken, but hey, it works, and that's Stable Diffusion 2.0, so maybe 10.0 would be way different. We are at a completely new era of this stuff. This is a really interesting question. How hard is it to learn how to use this and be good enough to write APIs with essentially zero coding background? I wish I could, but no clue how to learn all this. Sorry, noob here, but I want to learn how to utilize this stability.ai. If you want to play with Stable Diffusion 1, you can use a Colab notebook. It doesn't require any programming knowledge, just change the prompt. So it looks like there was just a UX that you can go in there and mess around with, which is cool. Maybe there's no code wrapper someone has made. If you're looking for a great starter language, I recommend Ruby. Yeah, coding is intimidating, but coding is like magic for the modern age. You know, coding, if you know coding, then you have the chance to build some of the world's best businesses. Right? Anyway, that was interesting on Stable Diffusion that came out. Let's see if the blog post covers anything else that's interesting. Stable Diffusion 2.0 delivers a number of big improvements and features versus the original V1 release. So let's dive in and take a look at this. We already saw this. An astronaut mowing the lawn. Pretty cool. We've already covered this stuff. I thought that image was interesting. Yeah, nothing new from the thread. Shows you why threads are very interesting on Twitter. All right. Another thing. Let's go through this. So Deloitte, right? Deloitte is one of the large four consultancies, along with KPMG, PwC, and Ernst & Young. E and Y. So these guys, they build, basically they have a suite, they've got a clientele base that they service, and they are the eyes and ears in the tech world for a bunch of these clients. So someone like Nissan wants to know if Metaverse is a thing they should do something in, and Deloitte would go to them and say, hey, yeah, you can do this in the Metaverse. You can use AI to do this to your business. Basically, they've got a bunch of consultants that can go out there and go figure out how new technology can be implemented. New technology and new ideas can be implemented to their clients to improve their business, so to keep them ahead of the curve, right? So Deloitte has come out and said Metaverse could add $1.4 trillion to Asia's GDP annually by 2035, noting that the Metaverse market could be as large as $13 trillion by 2030. The global financial services firm said the Metaverse is no longer science fiction. Early Metaverse platforms are already being used by millions. Very true for Roblox and Fortnite. Deloitte Metaverse study, a new report by Deloitte titled The Metaverse in Asia, Strategies for Accelerating Economic Impact, estimate that the Metaverse is $1 trillion opportunity in Asia. I have to read this. What's going on here? There's a report by Deloitte titled Metaverse in Asia, Accelerating Economic Impact. That would be a really interesting report to dive into. We estimate that the impact of Metaverse GDP, yes, cool. Yes. Be very good to dive into some reasons as to why they think this. The potential growth and contribution of the Metaverse could be significantly global. Dulisha Kalasuria, Deloitte Center for the Edge's managing director in Southeast Asia, was quoted by CNBC as saying, if you look at the youth, they're the ones who are interacting and engaging in the Metaverse mostly today, and 60% of the world's youths live in Asia. Okay. Let's see how you put that math together. The financial services firm explained the Metaverse is no longer science fiction. Early Metaverse platforms are already being used by millions. In Asia, many consumers are already gaming, socializing, attending concerts, and purchasing items on virtual platforms such as Roblox. Decentraland gets a mention. Roblox, Decentraland, Fortnite, and Asia's very own Sandbox and Zapito. Wow, even Sandbox gets a mention. Zapito, never heard of that. So, hey, it's a very real interest by business models. You know, we by business consultants, very big ones. So, guys, we're at this inflection point where, again, Metaverse thing exists, and if major consultancies that are supposed to be the eyes and ears are trying to figure it out now, we're still probably 2 to 5 years away from any real consultancy activity that have figured it out, that are building solutions in the Metaverse for these businesses. Massive opportunity. Huge opportunity. Basically, this transitions very well into my next topic. But I wanted to talk about, I did a talk to basically someone like Deloitte, and they had 120 partners from the firm that tuned in that were interested to see what the heck the Metaverse can do in the space. And I noticed from the questions back to me that they're looking at specific use cases that are virtual that can be taken to some of their businesses as solutions. So maybe it's like a government's building a new train station layout in a certain suburb. Maybe virtually you can experience it and see it in the future before it's built, right? Maybe they're looking for maybe a virtual 3D modeling of some of the data points that can be better understood by the clients. So there's like these specific use cases. Maybe education, right? How do you play with education in the virtual space? How do you, maybe thousands of people can tune in and they can open up doors to learn in a more easier way, can drive global business to the education facility. There could be research that can be done, and maybe you could experiment and mix potions, mix chemicals to see the reaction and result in a virtual environment. So suddenly you can have a group practical for schools in a virtual space. They are interested in these specific use cases that span basically every industry that's looking for a digital presence and a digital solution. And so as a company, Medikey, that is now going a little bit into the consulting arm, where we're saying, all right, Deloitte, we can help you with this stuff. Let's add us as partners, and we can actually build this out for some of your clients. That way it brings a lot of brand interest to the Medikey. That way we kind of know what's going on in the virtual world and have our eyes and ears plugged into exactly what clients want. There's going to be major opportunity for major consultancies that are going to be like, you know what, we're going to do some big stuff in this space. We're happy to do everything. And then you add AI to this, where maybe AI can build that virtual hospital. Maybe AI can path a quest for an NPC character to go across an environment and teach users about certain things. Maybe AI can be the Q&A prompts on the NPC characters. Heaps can be done, and that's the really exciting thing. And the thing about this is it requires a lot of visually creative people to come up with. So artists that can build this out, that can visualize and articulate this well in the virtual world, illustrate this well in the virtual world, and developers that can code this and make these solutions a reality, and then a marketing person that can take this and take it to someone like Deloitte and show them what they've got. If you put together a team like that, you've basically got a very good consultancy. Again, it's one of the areas Medic is going to play very heavily in. All right, that's it, guys. I honestly didn't have too much to cover. Just a few points, a little bit about major consultancies and how they're thinking. Stable Diffusion 2.0 release, quite interesting. Anything in the NFT realm. You know what happened? Honestly, I actually have a meeting at 9 a.m. and I totally forgot that I do the streams at 8 a.m. and I realized at 7:50, I was like, oh shit, I've got a stream in 10 minutes. So in true Matty fashion, I ran to the desktop, opened it up, and quickly found a few articles I could cover. But let me know what's going on in the space. So BT says, hope Matty brings up Metamask new data tracking policy, logging IP addresses and computer and browser specs, and tie them to crypto addresses. That's interesting. Wow. That is something we need to bring up. I'm always scared to type in Metamask because I never know what's going on. So maybe we go Metamask and we go to news. Here we go. Metamask will start collecting user IP address. That's concerning. I don't want my IP address tracked by Metamask. Metamask is the most popular on-chain wallet in the Web3 segment. Typically, it is called the alternative of choice to centralized cryptocurrency services. That is why the recent privacy policy update by Consensus, parent company of Metamask, makes the industry concerned. Ooh. Let's figure out what's going on with this tweet here. Okay, so this guy's got a thread. I like threads better. Consensus have updated their privacy policy. They will collect your IP address and your ETH address when you send a transaction. Information collected by Infura when you use Infura as your default RPC provider in Metamask, blah, 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 blah. Metamask Infura will collect your IP address and your Ethereum wallet address when you send a transaction. Okay. However, if you're, the Ethereum wallet sending the transaction, that's already public anyway. That's not that big of an issue. The IP address is what's concerning. However, if you're using your own Ethereum node or a third-party RPC provider with Metamask, then neither Infura nor Metamask will collect your IP address or Ethereum wallet address. But you should be aware your information will be subject to whatever information collected. Option 1, stay with Metamask. If you want to stay with Metamask, you can change your RPC provider. I highly recommend Alchemy. How to add Alchemy RPC endpoints to Metamask. This is where it gets a bit technical. I might ask my developer on what this means and how to do it. Option 2, change wallets. Consider the following wallets. We've got rainbow.me and you got the old Trust Crypto Wallet. The problem with Trust Crypto Wallet, Trust is owned by Binance, so God knows what they're collecting. Follow this guy for more. Okay, cool plug. Here's how you can avoid being tracked. There's a couple of points there, but hey, that's interesting. Maybe they meant it in a subtle way. Let's see what MetaMask has to say about that. I'm always concerned. I'm always a bit scared going to the MetaMask place. The risk of IP leakage are prevalent on Web3 today, and we are actively collaborating in efforts. Shout out to blah 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 that can help bring the users greater privacy long term. What do people have to say about this? If a user info is collected, user info will get leaked. You just lost user trust. All RPCs working with same method except with so and so. Change to Alchemy platform instead of Infura. Problem solved. Alchemy is literally a data surveillance platform and it's infinitely worse for privacy. All right, that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. MetaMask is one of the biggest tools in the industry. That has enabled everything. Really, it's been our bridge to the DApp world. Them having this, you see, the problem is regulatorily, it's a matter of time until every tool, service, or app in this space gets a knock on the door from their local government, and they're like, if you guys are facilitating economic trade, then there are some rules. There's some rules to abide by. So that's a thing, right? So any economic transfer of value, money, US dollars, anything like that, when it's transferring in and out of an app, even a game, then the founders of the team is responsible in making sure that they know who those people are, because money laundering is a very real risk and threat within governments. Governments don't like that. Governments don't like money being taken out of a country and not being known what's going on. So they want to know where and who everyone is. That's why with Roblox and Fortnite, yes, they have their own sort of economy within their world, buying and selling skins. And that's why they're hesitating with NFTs, because the moment they enable NFTs, you can use US dollars outside. You can buy an NFT within Roblox. You can take that NFT outside of Roblox. You can sell that NFT on OpenSea. Suddenly Roblox is facilitating trade in and out of their platform. So can Roblox make it that OpenSea, tracks the KYC of whoever bought a Roblox item? No, they cannot. That's why there is a slower pace to some of these games and experiences adopting NFTs or blockchain. Now, MetaMask getting these sort of having these updates with their privacy policy and exchanges or these decentralized tools that are well loved by the community, slowly starting to have more Web2 implementations. It's almost a given. It's sadly almost a given, just because of the government pressure. It's either that or you close down. That's what you're going to get. That you close down or we're going to arrest you. I mean, they've arrested some pretty notable people. I mean, the Tornado Cash guy is in jail, right? So it's scary, the reality, but let's see how this changes things. It does make me a little bit more wary of using my MetaMask. It's also because if anyone collects data, they can leak data. So would I want my crypto transactions to be, leaked one day on where I live or which IP addresses this Ethereum address is connected to? No, hell no. That would be probably the worst thing in the whole space. Suddenly you know where some of the biggest whales live, or where their wallets or where their devices are positioned. That would be a really bad issue if IP data was leaked for crypto wallet owners and transactions. So I think the concern is also that pretty much every business that has data is at risk of cyber attacks, right? Cyber attacks are very common. The whole cybersecurity thing is an ever-evolving space. Hackers are always getting smarter. How do we make sure that this data that they're collecting is not leaked? Not good. They also collect the computer fingerprint, the OS specs, etc. Says BT. Yeah, super interesting actually. Everyone uses a VPN though, right? Yeah, most people use VPNs. It's a way to sort of jumble up where you're staying, and in this day and age, like a VPN is a must. Ad blockers, you want to get access to things that are locked in your country, all sorts of stuff. Government's always ruining things, right? Government's always ruining things. Is it good or bad they do these things? I don't know. Not a fan. This is why crypto was created. This just makes me more sure that privacy funds will catch on. Yep. Issues, right? Not a fan either, but we'll see how it plays out. But to protect myself, I will be looking at ways how I can bypass this. Honestly, maybe I won't use MetaMask anymore. I might use a different wallet. It is super concerning that IP address will be connected. Maybe they already are. Do I have to accept that? And at that point onwards, they will start tracking, or am I already being tracked the moment I've opened this MetaMask account? Super concerning. Super concerning. The evolution, or at least this bear market, has brought in a little bit more regulations than we wanted to, right? I would have thought more of it would have come in the bull market, but I feel like this lull period is the the person in suit's opportunity to figure out how they can make sense of all this and what gates they can implement. Losing the data should come with massive consequences. Absolutely. Just run your own node, problem solved, NFT addiction helpline. Sounds simple, but I don't know how to run my own node. Maybe I should learn that. I mean, they did say that if you do run your own node, then you won't be tracked. So that could be a solution. That should be a solution. Yeah, or changing your RPC. Now, it'd be good. Like, this is why Twitter is good, because developers will share why and how this can be done. Anyway, what else has been going on, guys? What else has been going on? That's a little bit of a dull piece of news, to be honest. Today we have a IRL meetup for MetaKey team, so it'll be fun to see everyone. In the midday, we're going to be catching up. It's coming to the end of the year almost, so November 25th is here. We're going to be catching up and seeing everyone's faces. That's going to be a bit of fun. Regulation coming in while we were asleep. Yes, 0x Kryptonians. See, regulations are something that you should expect and you should account for. As much as we hate it, this is why countries are, you know, to maintain their balance, order, and control, really, they got to add regulations. And this is why regulating is also a risky thing for countries, because do they want to scare innovation away to another country? Because there's a whole sector pack up and go to another country and set up there, like what happened with manufacturing in Australia. You want to invite innovation, but not stifle growth, and not stifle growth, but also governments are expected to regulate, right? That's what they do. Have I seen the Dero NFT? Maddie says Nebula Trading. No, I haven't. They have a whole platform for NFTs, all private. I haven't. Maybe we can check it out next time. Yeah, the NFT space, I haven't really seen anything pop up that's too exciting. I feel like the OG projects are slowly building. The historical projects are slowly advancing. A lot of new projects that maybe raise some money are slowly disappearing. I haven't really seen many projects that have been around for the last 1 or 2 years. Maybe I've seen about 10 of them continue to build, maybe 10 to 15. At least on my radar, right? So it'd be interesting to see next bull run what happens. 2018 saw some projects spend 2 to 3 years building their product, and when the bull run came, it blew up. You know, Decentraland, the Sandbox, Axie, etc. Next bull run, I'm very curious to see which projects will boom and why. Now, usually the biggest upside for established projects happens in their fungible department, and that's something that I think is more true now than it was before. Of course, before, if you had a CryptoPunk, I think we would have 1000x by now. But if you had an Axie Infinity, if you bought Axie tokens, it went from 10 cents to $200, right? That's a 2000x. So I'm actually curious on the tokens. On the token side of things, when the bull run gets here, I'm actually interested to see what my portfolio will look like on fungible tokens, like cryptocurrency tokens. So if we go over here, we talk about the whole NFT space. You've got ApeCoin, you've got Flow, Chili's. I honestly never really dove deep into that. You got the Sandbox now sitting under $1 billion market cap. To put into perspective, guys, Roblox today is a $20 billion market cap company, right? So the Sandbox can attract millions of users to use the Sandbox. If they can compete head on with Roblox, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing goes to like 10 to 20 bucks. That would be equivalent to the market cap of Roblox. Now, Roblox is very, very far ahead. They've had a product out there and fine-tuning users for like 5-6 years now. Axie Infinity has gone all the way down to $6.76, down from 200 bucks. Now, is that going to see a reboom? Decentraland's gone down to 40 cents. I mean, they went all the way to $3.50. So some of these have gone down quite significantly, right? If you scroll all the way down here, I mean, you got Aavegotchi down to 41 million. What else do we have here that I have seen around? Rarible. Rarible, the competing marketplace of OpenSea at one point, now down to $27 million. Superfarm down to $27 million market cap. League of Kingdoms, that seems probably a League of Legends equivalent. Remark app, $21 million. Super Rare down to $19 million market cap. Super Rare being around for a while. I mean, they're look where they've gone from $2 all the way down to 12 cents. So some of these are really interesting pickups, right? Now is the time to look at this space and be like, you know what? Some of these projects are going to be giants. Which ones are they going to be? And getting into that Somnium space down to $12 million market cap. I mean, this thing was, I think it went over $30 at one stage, right? Somnium space is a VR world, VR metaverse world. So $23 US. Red Fox Labs down to $10 million. Some of these really going down. Whale Token down to $7 million market cap. Whale Token at some stage was really high. Look at that, $50 one stage. $50 for Whale Token one stage. Down to 80 cents. So I think like some of the biggest upside opportunities are in here. Veed, is that the freaking video market? Is that the video app? Because we actually use Veed. What is Veed? Is that what I think it is? Veed token. What is Veed? Where can I buy Veed? No, I think we use Veed.io. Veed. Okay. This is what yeah, it is a video editing platform. A video editing platform picks up $35 million from Sequoia. And these are the guys that have a token? These guys have a token. Are you kidding me? These guys have a token and it's worth $7 million. Veed.io. These guys, right? Are these the guys with the token? It must be. I mean, it's a .io. So create your first video. Basically, what these guys do, they allow you to overlay your TikTok text and all sorts of things. We actually use this for my TikTok. So we actually use this software for my TikTok. The question is, do they have... Are these the guys with the tokens? I don't think so. Anyway, if they are, and the Veed, no, that's not right. That's not the logo for Veed. What the hell is that logo? Veed token. This thing, VIM World, Veed token and swap. What is this? What's Vim World? Okay, it's something else. Vim World. Never heard of this. All right. I was gonna say, because if that was worth, you know, $7 million US, that's super undervalued. So tokens are also a bit, they're basically liquid valuations for companies. So if a company goes and is worth $50 million US and it had a raise recently and the token's worth $1 million, it's like, wait a second, that's not right. You can see that potential growth value there. NFTX, bit of a golden child when it did come out, now down to $6 million as a market cap. Jeez. Well, these graphs remind me of 2017. So look at this. $416. Wow. $416 at the peak. They must have had a very, very low supply that was out there. Looks like 80% of the supply is now out. $416 down to $14. $6 million of market cap. Some of these guys, and I promise you, some of these projects are going to go nuts. Hey, Nebula, I should look at the chat more often. Sorry. You said no, it's not. It's VimWorld. Thank you for that. ApeCoin Basic Quest announced today. ApeCoin Geo blocks North America users from staking. That's sad. Can you take us through Curio cards like the old days? Yeah, maybe we can end with Curio cards. Maybe I'll take you through that in a couple of minutes. Can you wear your ferocious shoes in the sandbox? Any other metaverse you will be able to wear them in? Question mark says, asks A. Answer some of these questions. I'm actually super interested in this. At some point, I will have to look at this Look at this market cap, and this is how you should look at making money, right? In non-investment advice, this is how I used to make money. I used to look at each of these projects individually. I'd go into their discords, I'd go into their projects, their blogs, I'd see if anything's coming out that's super interesting to keep note of. And then I would invest in those that have a disconnect based on their activity and their token value, because no one's really investing at the moment. Atari coins at $4 million market cap. Is this an official Atari coin? And what do they even do? Wow. How can Atari coin be worth $4 million market cap? That is insane. All right, I'll have to look into this a little bit. I'm getting FOMO. To answer some of your questions, guys. Can you wear ferocious shoes in the sandbox? Well, this is the thing, right? These virtual worlds, they want you to mint this shoe there first. And obviously, when you mint the shoe there, you can use it on that platform. So Decentraland, you can mint the wearables in Decentraland, you can use it in Decentraland. Same with the others, but they don't really play nice with each other. They don't say that, hey, if you mint something in the other, in Sandbox, you can bring it to Decentraland and it can have a usability there. The only ones that are doing that are Decentraland. Decentraland is saying if you mint it in a different place, then you can actually bring it as an NFT and attach it to your avatar. Sandbox have said they're going to do the same thing. Can they? I'm not sure. There's a different modeling there, right? One's a voxel based, one's non-voxel based. So I don't think you can bring it in the sandbox. It'd be great if you could. It'd have more value, right? Suddenly, those Decentraland wearables of Ferocious will have more value if you can take it to the sandbox. And this is the dream. Why is this? The creator economy should be connected. It should be able to go from sandbox to Decentraland. Can you go through curio cards? Yeah, look, I'll go through curio cards very quickly. I'm always looking at curio cards. Now, I am a big believer that the historical projects will do very well. I don't want to say exactly which ones I am fully into or ones that I fully believe in, because that might come off as investment advice, but I have a shit ton of curio cards, super bullish on curio cards. One of the reasons is because they're pre-CryptoPunks and they're sort of got a very decent supply to importance value, right? It was one of the first virtual exhibitions where you could go on a website and mint an NFT, an ERC1155, as an NFT of the image of your choice. And some of these artists have gone on to do more things. You can get them ordered from 1 to 30. I think there's about 30 cards or 25, 28 cards or something. Oh, no, 30, 1 to 30. The one that sees the most action usually is this one here, Apples, which I have 30 of. It's the first one ever in the curio cards collection. So what I'm doing, guys, is just tracking the activity. I just track the activity. Curio cards has fallen quite a lot since its high, but the good thing is that it's been consistent in volume. So every day, 10, 15, 20 gets sold, and that's the best thing, right? So as long as it gets sold every single day, there's 10, 20, 30 that gets sold every single day. That is, to me, the most important thing, because that means that in time, the supply dynamics of any of these projects. So I'm going to use curio cards as an example, but this is absolutely true for Bored Apes, for CryptoPunks, for the historical projects that have consistently people finding it and being like, you know what, this is significant, I'm going to buy one. When the whales start to go away, and when people that own 100, they don't exist anymore, and there's people that own, 1 to 5, then you start to get the people that are like, you know what, I've got one curio card, I'm going to hold it forever, I'm going to pass it down to generations or whatever, right? When a collector demographic starts to become true collector demographic, that's when these projects are going to start to see tremendous value. Just like CryptoPunks flipped Bored Apes eventually, because CryptoPunks consistently sees volume because of their historical significance, and they've been able to attract a collector demographic, and a collector demographic being like, you know what, I'm not selling my CryptoPunk anytime soon. Whereas a Bored Ape demographic, they definitely are pretty cool. There's definitely collectors there, but there you can see people that will flip it because it doesn't have the historical significance of CryptoPunks, right? So that's why historical significance is super important. I'm always tracking it. I actually have a spreadsheet, and maybe I might bring it up sometime, but I actually have a spreadsheet that tracks the number of owners. And for me, this is the most important thing, along with who these owners are and a bunch of different information. But as long as this number keeps going up, so out of 1,008 items, there's 567 owners. So 57% distribution. So as long as this keeps getting higher and higher and higher, that means that there's more wallets that own one apple than wallets that own hundreds or 50 plus apples. And slowly, the whales, or the people that own doubles, are selling it out to new participants that now have one or plus. So there was a time when this was like 350 or 400, and slowly now it's 567. And so as long as there's volume and interest, and these sort of spikes in volume are just to accelerate this. Did I just see that right? I thought it sold for 69 Ethereum. So this is an interesting thing. You can see in the apples, there's been a few sales over the last couple of days. So in the last 4 days, we've seen some sales in the 2 ETH mark, 2.1 off the market. Someone screwed up and sold one for 0.25 ETH. W ETH mark. So there's been a couple of bids that have been accepted. 2 ETH sale recently, 14 hours ago, and now suddenly there's only one left at 2.28 ETH. And you start to get into the larger prices. So hopefully, once that's gone, and if anyone else wants any more, it starts to hit the 4.5 ETH. And because the distribution is getting better and better, it's going to get more and more expensive to get one, because there's less people willing to sell the doubles, right? And so I'm bullish on historical projects. Again, I'm just using Curio cards as an example. There's also, what else is there? Mooncats. You got Mooncats. This is also a historical project. Again, the most important thing for me is consistent volume. Consistent regular volume. How much are they selling a day? 7, 5, 10, 15, 10, 7. Cool, as long as they're between 7 and 15. This is the same thing. This is why Decentraland popped, because it was continuous volume for 2 years. So this has been the last 4 to 5 months. Imagine it goes on for a year or two and there's consistent buyer volume there. Then it's just when the boom comes, that's the one that's going to go hard. That's the one that's going to hit prices where people are like, holy shit, that's nuts. So looking at Mooncats as well. What else is there? There's Cool Cats. So there's another one called Cool Cats, I believe. Oh, not Cool Cats NFT. There's another one called, another historical cats project. What's it called? I forgot its name. Let's go to Pixel Map. Are Pixel Maps being bought? Pixel Map. 2,700 items here. Are these being bought regularly? The floor price is 1.08 ETH. So it looks like there's one being sold every, like, look, there's 7 days in between these two sales. You see that? 6 to 7 days in between these sales. So this, for me, I mean, I like the Pixel Map project. I reckon Ken's a super cool person. For me, you can see why it's important for there to be liquidity. Right? Liquidity means if you have 50 of them, then in time you will be able to sell them. Whereas if it's only selling like one every 4 to 5 days, then it's hard for you to sell your portfolio of 10. It might just dry up completely when no one's really buying it every once a week, maybe once a month they're buying it. Imagine in a super bear market. Then that's when it gets scary, right? So I'm always looking at least every single day, give me 10 to 15 sales and I'll be happy. As long as that's happening, then I know that my money is safe. The moment that starts to dry up, that's when I'm like, okay, I might consider exiting this position. Anyway, guys, I have gone to 50 minutes. It has been good to stream with you guys. All right, any tutorials on making a spreadsheet? No, I don't have any tutorials. Maybe I can send out some templates on that. Maybe I can create some templates. All right, guys, take care. It is a Friday today. We got the weekend around the corner. Let's see what comes up. Monday is always interesting and insightful because there's so much content to cover. But hey, it's been fun. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Have a blast. Be safe. Have fun. Hope you guys make a ton of money in the NFT space, whatever you do. We'll catch you guys on the Monday. So thanks for joining me on the stream. For every single person that came in, supported, press a like button, just said a comment or just hung around. Thank you so much. We will catch up tomorrow.